Welcome to This Week in Colorado Soccer, another home edition. Today we're have a really special guest, Cobi Jones. Cobi, thanks for joining the big show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So as all of our soccer fans at home know, Kobe's illustrious career with U.S. men's national team, 3 World Cups, including the '02 squad that went to the quarterfinals. The most capped player in the history of U.S. men's soccer. Maybe some people don't know that, but a tremendous accomplishment. I believe it's 160 caps, 92 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. Played professionally in England with Coventry City, in Brazil with Vasco da Gama, and obviously a long career with LA Galaxy. But what I want to do is I want to take us back a step and talk a little bit how you went from the Westlake Warriors to my understanding, on to UCLA. How did that process happen? How did you end up at UCLA?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, first you have to kind of look at, I guess, my upbringing and the fact that both my parents, were into education. My mom being an English teacher, my dad, PhD in chemistry, had his own business, and then became a teacher. So that was very important for them, is the education aspect of everything, and soccer was always put second. How this happened, I would have to say I have to give a little bit of credit for to Eric Winalda and everything that he was doing. He was a year ahead of me at Westlake High School, and he was heavily recruited. So I guess maybe some of the people that saw Eric kind of glanced my way, and it really was Eric's dad, Dave Winalda, that kind of put the whisper in like Ziggy Smith's ear at UCLA. Hey, maybe you should give this guy a look, give a shot, that type of thing. And that wonderful shot was that, yeah, if you come this way, you can try to walk on, to the squad. For me, as part of my family, and why I brought up the education, is like I got into all the schools that I applied to. I applied to my West Coast UC system schools, got into them, and the one that appealed to me the most was UCLA, because not only did it have the education system that I wanted, but the soccer as well. And so I was going to give it that shot to go to UCLA and try my luck, become a walk-on, go out there and see if I could make the team.
Well, I think you did okay, being on the All-Century team and the Pac-12 and so forth. And it's really interesting because in our world of recruiting, everyone thinks it's the big scholarship or whatever it is, but it's really about finding the right fit. And the fact that you went in as a recruited walk-on, maybe no guarantees on anything. They probably gave you the number 37 jersey day one. How soon, once you got into preseason, did Siggy Schmidt and the rest of the quad say, "Hey, listen, we got something special here"?
Another interesting story, and I have many of them during these days. When did Ziggy Schmidt kind of figure that out? Well, I'd have to say, go through the preseason. I was the red shirt. I think I got the call so much, is, to be quite honest, is when they went to Indiana and got smoked in the tournament. That's where everything kind of turned around. As you know, coaches have to make some quick decisions in the college game because it's not a long season. So losing some games early actually helped me in the long run, where there was this view by Ziggy. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to redshirt you this year. I'm going to give you the opportunity to come out and play and start, in these next few games that we have. And in those games I did very well, and it kind of, went on from there. When I look back at it, though, I think it's interesting, where I had a bone to pick with Ziggy all those years. I was like, you were willing to throw away my redshirt year because a couple of bad games for UCLA. Yeah. Fortunately, it worked out. It all worked out in the end. But I'm still kind of like, that's that. I'm not sure if he was looking out for me or for himself on that one.
Yeah, probably a combination. And it's interesting when you come kind of as a coach, you recruit and you think and you kind of pencil people in, and then there's always someone that comes in and surprises and maybe overachieves, and maybe just the fact that you kind of were so focused on the education and where you kind of wanted to go to school. Obviously, it was a great fit for you.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I think it was probably the best result for me, because when I finally got the nod that, yes, I had made the team at UCLA, even though I was going to redshirt. So my, I guess, roommate was a regular student, so to speak, whatever you want to call a regular student, while everybody else was, teamed up with the soccer player. for me, I think in the long run that was so good because I got to experience so many different things than just soccer. I have a completely different group of friends that are totally outside of soccer, don't even have an interest in the game, but that kind of, I think, made me more well-rounded, as a player. While I saw some of the ones that kind of, that room together, yes, okay, they have some tight knit relationships, but I was able to develop those relationships as well as the ones outside. And I saw a lot of those players, quite a few of them, in fact, and as well as a coach, if it's not done just right, a lot of those players can burn out because it's just soccer all the time, day in and day out, 24/7. A lot of those players can burn out. So for me, having this outside group where I could talk things outside of shop, I thought was fantastic.
And it's a great perspective. And obviously, once you got done with your illustrious career with the Galaxy, you coached a little bit there. And I know you've been in the broadcasting. And obviously, the highlight of your broadcasting career was coming to Boulder in 2018 and doing Washington. It was interesting because it ended up being a rainy day. But when you came in, it was about, I don't know, 65 and sunny out. And you're like, where's the nearest store? I got to get myself a jacket. The SoCal boy wasn't feeling like Colorado weather in October, were you?
I'm sorry, it was cold. I will tell you though, that's my best cold weather jacket still. I picked it up. It's a Levi jacket. I still got it. I tell my wife it's the best jacket, keeps me warm at all times. I tell you, you might have thought it was nice and warm out there. I was freezing.
It does take you a while. I actually grew up in Huntington Beach and then in Arizona, but I've been out here for a while. So it takes a while to thicken your blood. But my dad's from Columbia, so whenever he comes out here, if it gets below 70, it's jackets and extra socks and so forth. One other thing I did want to do on Cobi was the Wellness Your Way Festival. A mutual friend of ours, Trevor Drinkwater, is a big supporter of our program. How'd you get involved in that, and kind of what's your experience been with that?
Well, thanks for bringing that up because I mean personally, and thanks to Trevor Drinkwater for kind of bringing me in. The Health and Wellness Festival, the Wellness Your Way. It's important to me because health and wellness, I think, is important. It's one of those things that I never really thought about when I was younger, but as I got older, I started seeing like a trend, throughout the game, and I've seen it, from the professional level all the way down to youth. And that's that situation where you dedicate your whole life to something, and then all of a sudden it stops. It's like, what do you do, after that? And that's kind of where I started seeing, I wouldn't say you do see some depression, but I'd say more so you see these depressive episodes. And that's where I started going, is there a way to really look at this, conquer this, and help people through it? Where I started health and wellness and all different avenues where it could be for adults, it can be for former professional athletes, it can be for kids, it can be for kids that are in college, all the different issues that they have are important to them at whatever age. So we've got to make sure that we can find a way to help them through it. And so Trevor with the Wellness Your Way Festival, I mean, it just synced up perfectly where it was a group of Kroger that was putting these festivals on to help people in wellness. And wellness it's a broad term, right? It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be a variety of different things. And bringing all these different companies and organizations that want to find a way to help people to eat better, to live better, to mentally take care of themselves, physically take care of themselves. I thought it was a no-brainer from what I want to do to help, and be a part of this.
Well, Cobi, and well said, and we're excited to be a part of it as well. Our little bit of Colorado soccer and helping Trevor. But big picture, I really want to thank you for being on the big show today, taking a few minutes away from your homeschool duties there with your young ones at home. Yeah. Wish you the best with everything kind of going forward, and stay safe with you and your family. Everybody at home, once again, thanks for joining the big show. You can follow us all the time on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll talk to you soon.